Hey people. Hello, hello, welcome back. I did enjoy that break. I needed that break, a good few days off to really celebrate Christmas. I wonder how your Christmas was. Yeah, how was your Christmas? How did you cope with these amazing new energies? Can you sense the new energies? Is there a certain weirdness in your day, in your body, in your mind? And here we sit on a lovely image here of sitting on a cliff top with our legs swinging over the edge, just looking out onto beautiful open countryside, very much like a scene from a Jane Austen film novel. And there's really nothing there, no big structures to land on, just beautiful, open nature. And as I peer into it, I can literally feel my mind opening. So I'm going to let that set the tone for today's whatchamacallit, because I haven't really got a handle on what I'm bringing. I think I'm going to call it, will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Because I think there's going to be some lovely, big, meaty, juicy questions being asked of who we are. I noticed I hesitated on that, of who we really are this year. And the absence of structure in that scene I've just brought, it very much tells me that without that to define me, what am I? So if I have only open countryside, let's say, or space, or the void to look out onto, well, there's very little that can do to define me. And so what that's going to do is that allows us to nudge ourselves out of our egoic needs. So we're talking about validation here and acknowledgement. And those lower egoic needs are going to be called into question as the paradigms and structures that we know so well fall. And full they are. So staring out onto nature allows me to wander, W-A-N-D-E-R, to wander. And I'm curious where we allow ourselves to wander within, say, a paradigm of you can play when you've done your work. That's just wasted time. Yes, but what did you achieve? This is all lower egoic, the structure of success in the world, what the paradigm that we use to measure ourselves or to project the part of ourselves that most desperately needs the acknowledgement of the system. But looking out onto open countryside, well, I can be what I want there, can't I? I can be what I want. So just before I hit the record button, I just centered myself and called my team in. And then I was guided. I've got a deck of cards at the ready, but I'm not really feeling cards at the moment, but they're there anyway. And I was just guided to just pick the deck up and see where they fell. And here's a beautiful card. That's the image. So 26-8. 8 kind of represents success and abundance, but change and karma. And karma, thank you, beautiful. Karma has been force-fed to us as this punishment machine. Karma comes back around, oh, that'll come back to haunt you. But really the physics of it is the universal law of cause and effect. Everything I do causes an effect. If I pick this cup up, bowl, and drink my tea, the effect is that the tea moves from the vessel into the vessel and the cup becomes empty. I did that. So the hold of darkness, okay. So my team asked me a question the other day. And the question was, Chrissy, can you truly conceive of a time where there is no longer conflict, where people find new ways to communicate with each other, which isn't fighting and arguing? And it blew my mind. I mean, it's the most banal question, isn't it? It could be one of these new age goal-setting things. But the way the question was given to me, the energy that it came in on blew my mind. Like, do you remember about a year ago? I think it was on my first YouTube channel where I started, so that will have been summer 2019, where I started bringing in the question around, are you dreaming big enough? There is great change to come. Are you dreaming big enough? Because if you're thinking about new house, new car, you're coming from an egoic projection of what constitute of, you know, I don't know, being seen a certain way in the world. So when I say think bigger, that's why this question that came to me blew my mind, because I don't think I've ever really conceived of a world that has transcended, what's the word? Dissonance. Dissonance. That's interesting. I don't want to bring this in great detail because I'm still studying the subject, but I was studying the subject of moving from one age to another. So this is ancient texts. And I've heard people have been talking about the golden age, and that's not what I understand it to be. But basically, with what's happening in the cosmos, my cat is shedding. And solar energy and galactic center energy. So this is you know, the science of energetics. This is done by a very, very clever guy. Can't remember his name. What it's actually spelling, what it might be spelling, blinkers off, is an approach towards a time of harmony. So I really understand the gravitas of this question now. Can I even conceive? The answer is no. Can I even conceive of a world where without dissonance? So I'm talking about dissonance within, so inner conflict. So I'm the cause, okay? We are the cause. If there's conflict in here, there is definitely going to be conflict out there. Definitely. So without conflict, right, okay. This is making sense now, thank you. I specifically asked for help to edit my notes, which are very, very Sagittarian, but like all over the place. I can't bring that to you. So they're bringing me a beautiful timeline. Thank you, it's making more sense. So if we just bring everything back now home, and if you want to, just treat yourself to a lovely big cleansing breath of in. Breathe in your favorite color and hold it at the top. And breathe out. And the next time, imagine that when that color comes into the body, it can pick up some darker energy, maybe. It can pick up some lower thought forms, fears, sadnesses. And then you can let it out on the exhale. So in with your favorite color. Okay. Practice that often. It's very, very centering and very calming. And you may need that because we're moving into 5 energy now, which is, well, dynamic. Right. Will a real Slim Shady please stand up? So, I'll let you into a secret. One of my favorite Netflix binges is Heartland. It's a Canadian government funded, basically a public information series to sell Canada, absent of the sins that have violated it. It's very vanilla, but the last year has been some huge healing for me. And creating empty pockets where I can literally hold more photons, do better work in the world. And Heartland has been my go-to. Why? Because it centers around horses, and Equine and me speak. I spotted the narrative immediately. I didn't question it. I'm going to bring that in. I did not question how a Netflix series with an agenda, vanilla, was healing me. In not questioning it, I watched the whole series and I cried with every episode. I cried, and it was the energy of the horse. I'm Sagittarian, I don't think that features, but there was such an energetic connection on another wavelength. So the wavelength, 3D wavelength is, make a series, put it out there, and we can watch it and go, oh, that's pleasant. That's not too taxing. Or we can touch that on a different vibration and get straight through to the horse. Not the first time I've connected with a horse. So I do have a strong affinity with horses. So I had 6 weeks free equine therapy. Cushy beans, thank you. So the other day, I go back to Heartland and I go, right, I'm going to hit this from the start again and see where I am. I'm in a completely different space and I'm seeing it now from a different viewpoint, okay? So one of the lead characters is called Lou Fleming. And Lou is shrill, controlling, nervous, skittish, capable, resourceful, strong. She's all of those things. And I'm watching her and another one of her spinning out of controlledness. And I had this blinding insight. And I spoke it out loud and I went, woman, you're an alpha wolf. You just can't see it. So what had happened is the mother of this family that she controls has passed unexpectedly. So Lou, oldest daughter, has systemically filled, this is the parentified child, they actually go one up so that they can parent the parents, but that's another story. So Lou had moved into the vacuum created by the absence of mum, and she'd become mum, surrogate mum. And what she never saw was she'd actually moved into her power. And what happens when we don't own our power, and that's difficult to do in this world because that will bring difference, and we haven't yet learned to manage difference, that creates dissonance. In not stepping into her power, she was a whining victim of how she's never supported. She does all of these things and she's built these businesses out of nothing and nobody's supporting me, but so she doesn't see the mechanics of what she's creating. Nobody supports her because they're all like running away from her because she sets these things up and she imposes them on people, not taking into account their free choice. But within her is a female alpha wolf that has ring-fenced the pack, that creates incoming resource to feed the pack. And that is, when the shift hits her fan, boing, she's straight in there. She's amazing. But she doesn't see that because she's lost in this Old Testament victim mentality. She can't be in her power. In her power, woo! Wow, amazing. That would be a wolf I would follow. Amazing. So that's kind of the very pedestrian analogy that I'm using. So what I sense is coming in 2021, well, it's already coming. It's already coming. If anybody like me is having cosmic family awakenings, it's already coming. And I will keep bringing this because, and I wrote a phrase down the other day. Why do I keep bringing this cosmic stuff, galactic family stuff? Well, because I want to normalize weirdness and address the fear of being different, which I've had my whole life. Fear of being different, okay? Started by being the only Asian girl in junior school. Imagine that. So yeah, fear of being different is pandemic. That's pandemic. Okay. So Lou can't see what she truly is. Her strongest strength is wolf. She won't step into that because she'll have to, because wolves nip. It's instinctual, okay? So the hold of darkness has her as a victim. She has cast herself in her own play as a victim, unsupported. Okay. Be at cause. So when you be at cause, what does that mean? Well, that's where we move out of victim consciousness and we become very grown up in what did I just cause to happen there? Because I did that. What did I just cause to happen there? Take ownership of that, change the world. No two ways about it. These tiny little things are game changers. Learning how to hold space with somebody, that's a game changer worldwide. That is a game changer. If people could just learn to listen, that's a game changer. But largely people don't know how to listen. They hear and they've got words in their throat because they need to speak into this. Well, that's chatting. Holding space is shut the fuck up. 2 ears. Use them both. Use everything. All your chakras, your eyes, third eye, body, sense, energetic fields. Use everything to hold this story that's unraveling in front of you. That's a game changer. I have gloves, look. It's very cold in here today. It's my cat. Okay, so do you remember the mirror prayer? What was it called? Prayer for 21. Try that. Say that in the mirror. Say that in the mirror, because what that will do is that will call your inner liar, the inner bullshitter. You can't. You're different, ergo, whatever. Okay. I work with a lot of people who say frequently, I've never felt I've belonged. I can identify with that. And what that does is that sets up a need to belong on a tribal level. Why? Because that's what we do on planet Earth. Is it? Are you sure? We're absolutely sure about that. Do we need to belong? Well, yeah, you know, belonging to groups and doing good work in the community and playing on your town's team or your city's team or for one of the big teams. Okay. Does that not just homogenize individuality? Can it do that as well? So I heard a lovely phrase. Let me get my notes up again. I heard a lovely phrase the other day. And so you'll have heard me talk about the individuation of self. The individuated self cannot be defined by anything other than self. So it's really walking the path of the hermit. It's the inner dimensional path, because it's that creates the external world. And they refer to it as the Grail path, which I absolutely love. And so this is the Jungian path. And the Jungian path goes straight into the darkness. Straight into the darkness. I did a darkness journey yesterday and was given an opportunity to do it in a completely different way, to do it from sovereign. So my world and everything I put in it, I am responsible for. So if that's in my world, what came in yesterday, if that's in my world, then how can I be with that in a completely different way that isn't reactive but is responsive? And did a beautiful piece of work last night. Beautiful piece of work. So we're going to be asked, as we move into this 5 energy, oh, happy full moon, by the way. It's full moon in Gemini today. You will see it sold as Cancer, but like I say, I'm studying true sidereal astrology, and true astrology is true sky. So if you point the telescope at the sky, you'll see actually that the moon is in Gemini. So, and this is good because Gemini wants to know how to do it, and it's a mutable sign, so it can go from extremes through extremes really well, as long as it can hold its center. And we have a lot of Chiron and Ophiuchi healer energy in at the moment. I heard the phrase sacred rage this morning. I thought, wow, yes, absolutely. There is some sacred rage coming in because we're moving into Aquarius, mind. So the mind wants to open, but for the mind to open, it has to see itself in its truth, not in the shape of what has defined it. And the only way we can see ourselves in the truth is kind of to exclude a little bit of that external world. Enter stage left COVID. COVID has been the greatest gift, the greatest preparer to step into an Aquarian age of inventor mind. Limitless mind, higher mind. Get in, sit in your bedroom, go in, hate it, break it down until you can be with it. And when you can be with it, you'll move from there to liking it, and you'll move from there to loving it. And guess what? You'll have fallen in love with yourself. Put that in your world. Your world changes. That's a game changer. Just learning to be with yourself. And not everybody's made it. It's been really hard for some people this year. And some people will stay in that old consciousness. And I get that. It can be too scary. Yeah. Can you conceive of a time without conflict? Oh, wow. So what I'm sensing in the system at the moment is there's some huge, fast-moving, changing energies that just come in with whoosh. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And tons of synchronicities, which are clearer. I sense they've always been there. We're just going to be able to see much more because the mind is opening. And so the mind is going to be able to permeate dimensional layers, to be able to see straight through. And then all of this activity, which can feel very Geminian, actually. You know, I have a lot of mind. I have a lot of mind sometimes that goes on, and that's what, you know, can affect my central nervous system. So I have to ground heavily into myself. So after all of that activity, then kind of landing in this void, this pocket of nothing, where I have to go hanged man. And I don't like that. it's not an energy I really enjoy. I have to go hanged man and sit in the pocket in the void and trust. Okay. So I've landed on a question, the simplest question, which might be really useful in 2021. Simply because there's so much fear mongering in the system at the moment. And I was having a conversation, about the big picture of what's going on planet Earth, where it's real and where it's not real, and yada yada. And I saw some fear streams coming in of being controlled by others and hidden agendas and all of that stuff. And so I bounced this question in, and it transformed the conversation completely. And the question was, what if? This is Uranus. It is the Uranus in me. What if? So this energy comes very naturally to me. It's how I've always got into trouble as a child. What if? Whatness? What if I break this? What if I take this apart and can never get it back together again? This is the 5 energy in me. It's the curiosity. It's the change agent. It's that dynamic energy that can prod the system. It's the inner iconoclast. It's the total disrespect for authority. Doesn't like to be told what to do, prefers to find their own way. It's also the pentagram 5. It's that, 5s in tarot are all about change and conflict and mastery, learning to master. Do you remember I spoke about how do you master your pentagram? Earth, air, fire, water, ether. They're all within you. How do you master those? Master them within, and your world will change. And so bouncing this what if question in, I think I postulated around what if this pandemic is the perfect precursor to what we're about to walk into and the breakdown of the patriarchal paradigm, top-down system. What if, after all of that is broken down, the only resource we will really truly have access to is us? And the conversation went skyward. I mean, it went out to the cosmos. And what that did is it literally opened the mind up out of this old bloody shady biblical church royal twisted timeline, all of that crap. And it went out and got bigger and got bigger and got bigger. And it was amazing. And what happened is we transcended any need to know the truth. What is this? I've got this and I've got this. What do I make with these? I feel the energy of that when the mind goes to, but what? It's a different energy to what if? Wow. So playing with the what if during times of tension might help you see a different picture, a bigger picture, or a hidden gift. Many hidden gifts. Okay. So back to belonging. I've never felt I've belonged here, they say. And I say, tell me about that. And so they talk about how they've tried to join in and da-da-da-da. And actually what they're describing is how they've suppressed their spirit. Trying to join in doesn't mean trying to join in. It actually means I squash myself so I have a family. I'm not talking about blood family here. I'm talking about a group of people. So that I have friends. I squash myself is the absolute truth, okay? And I'm still on my notes and my eye keeps going to a sentence I've written, which is beware the pretenders. The pretender is in us. The pretender will tell us, oh, you're working really hard to fit in with this group. Oh, you're doing really well. Yeah, you didn't challenge that comment from such and such that disrespected you or that challenged you, where actually you had a perfect answer, but you couldn't say that in polite conversation. You know that dance. That's you pretending to be something you're not, is the blunt, honest truth. We all do it. We all do it. Who has ever had said to them, you'll be all right, just be yourself? You'll be all right, just be yourself. What's yourself? Because if what you think you are is defined by the external world, you don't know you. You do not know you yet. Lou does not know herself yet because she needs the external world to validate her. Validation has to come from within. Okay. Am I done? Solar eclipse. I'm being taken back to the prayer. The solar eclipse prayer contains the eclipsing energy, where we can let go of the falsified self. Because everything is a choice. You can choose to carry on pretending to love that job that has you driving to and from for 3 hours a day. That wants you answering emails at the weekend. You can pretend to keep loving that. You can sit around the Christmas dinner table with family you can't stand and you can pretend to be polite. Pretend, keep pretending. Or you can choose a different path. That might mean upsetting the system. But 5 is here. 5 is dynamic change. It's dynamic change. The 5 can look back, can look forward, can look up, can look down. 5 can go in any direction. So that's just kind of, I think, a precursor to the 21 energies that are coming in. Change, choice points. Who are you? Let's keep it really simple. Change is coming. So when I say change is coming, notice what happens in your body. Do you go straight to fear? Do you go straight into the belly? Ooh. Or can you make a different choice? If you go straight to the belly, I'm not making any assumptions here. Can you make a more empowered choice, which is brave enough to let go of the need to know and go, what if? What if that change brings my wildest dreams that I haven't even dreamt yet? Okay. What if, what if, what if? Stay with the what if, because we don't quite know. We're on new blueprint territory. We are writing it. Yes, yes, you're the architect now. You're the architect. You're doing the plans for this new way of being with one another, because if harmony truly is coming in, harmony with self, with nature, with others, with what we eat, with what we drink, harmony. Maze balls, I'm going. There will be more. And as ever, I leave you with my love. I wish you a fabulous new year, although I do believe we're in it. Yeah, I'll raise a glass on New Year's Eve with friends. And I will drink to everything we've willingly put ourselves through and unwillingly and accidentally succeeded in this year. We're doing it. There's too much light on the planet to go back. There is no going back. There is no going back. So how are you going to dance with the light? Yeah, I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to new subs. You're very welcome. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.